What if a $600 utility trailer could become a futuristic camper pulled by a Cybertruck? In just 2 months, Kyle set out to build a fully functional, off-grid CyberCamper from the ground up. No big workshop, no factory tools, just design, problem-solving, and persistence. This is not a concept, this is real. Welcome to Quantum X. Every build starts with a foundation. Kyle begins by assembling a compact utility trailer rated for roughly 1,700 pounds of payload. Bolt by bolt, the bare steel frame slowly takes shape, strong enough to carry everything that comes next. Once the trailer is square and solid, he adds a 4x8-foot plywood subfloor on top. Before anything else goes on the floor, Kyle makes sure water never becomes a problem. He coats the entire subfloor with RedGuard, applying multiple layers for full waterproof protection. Then finished with a black exterior paint for added protection against moisture and wear. To lock everything in place, he applies Liquid Nails construction adhesive and secures the panels with dozens of screws. At this stage, Kyle is installing a wooden frame beneath the polywood floor. This frame serves two clear purposes: reinforcing load capacity and distributing weight evenly across the trailer. It also creates cavities for insulation and future electrical routing. This approach prevents floor flex during long-distance travel. With the floor properly reinforced, Kyle begins framing the camper using 2x2 lumber. It may look simple, but this design relies on multiple complex angled surfaces. Each angle must be calculated precisely to maintain shape and load paths. Kyle uses the Pythagorean theorem to determine exact lengths and slopes. Even a few millimeters off would throw the entire structure out of alignment. In builds like this, geometry is just as critical as craftsmanship. With the frame stabilized, Kyle begins installing the interior wall panels using plywood. These panels don't just define the interior space, they significantly increase structural rigidity. Installing from the inside helps prevent frame twist during road movement. Kyle keeps the surfaces flat and gaps minimal to simplify later finishing. At this stage, accuracy matters more than speed. Any misalignment will become obvious when cutting openings and adding systems later. With the wall panel secured, Kyle begins cutting openings for the door and skylight. This is a point of no return. Even a few millimeters off can compromise the cut. A measurement error occurs, and the opening isn't sized correctly at first. Instead of rebuilding the wall, Kyle reinforces and re-squares the opening. This preserves both structural integrity and weather sealing. In real-world construction, correcting mistakes properly matters as much as avoiding them. Before sealing the walls, Kyle installs the electrical pre-wiring. At this stage, the open structure allows full control over cable routing and fastening. Running wires early avoids cutting into finished walls later. Kyle leaves extra cable length to allow flexibility during final installation. This approach reduces electrical faults and saves time down the line. For an off-grid camper, a clean and well-planned electrical system is critical for safety. With the electrical system secured, Kyle moves on to surface preparation using Bondo. Bondo smooths seams and corrects minor imperfections from the build process. More importantly, it strengthens the surface and reduces cracking from road vibration. Kyle applies thin layers to control shrinkage as it cures. This creates a stable base for the final finish. In a mobile camper, durability matters just as much as appearance. With the surfaces stabilized, Kyle begins designing and building the kitchen area. In a confined space, every component must serve multiple purposes. Cabinets and drawers are arranged to maximize storage without adding unnecessary weight. A bamboo countertop is chosen for its lightweight, durability, and moisture resistance. The stove, sink, and fridge are positioned along a short workflow to minimize movement. In an off-grid camper, the kitchen must be both efficient and safe to operate. With the kitchen layout complete, Kyle moves on to installing the lighting system. Indirect lights are mounted higher to provide even illumination without glare in a tight space. Task lighting focuses directly on the cooking area for safe food preparation. Separating lighting layers reduces power consumption and improves flexibility. Kyle uses LED fixtures for their efficiency and low heat output. In an off-grid camper, efficient lighting directly extends battery life. He moves on to installing the kitchen backsplash. He chooses a stone-look material for its lighter weight while maintaining durability and easy cleaning. A stainless steel strip is added, not just for visual contrast. This combination aligns with the sharp, technical cyber design language. Kyle uses specialized adhesive to prevent cracking under road vibration. Before mounting the TV, Kyle reinforces the camper's exterior-facing frame with additional wooden members. A 32-inch TV may not be heavy, but it generates significant vibration forces while driving. By anchoring directly into the frame, the load is distributed instead of stressing the wall panels. Kyle aligns the mounting points with the structural axis to prevent long-term cracking. This keeps the TV stable even on rough roads. In a mobile space, structural integrity always comes before aesthetics. Kyle then installs the flooring and builds an electrical cabinet that also functions as storage. This layout keeps the electrical system organized and easy to manage. He chooses a simple setup using a portable power station paired with a 100-watt solar panel. The system covers basic needs without requiring advanced electrical knowledge. For off-grid beginners, simplicity is often the safest design choice. At this stage, a triangular ceiling lighting system is introduced to create a visual focal point. The wooden frame is precisely built to keep the geometry stable while the camper is in motion. Cool white LEDs provide functional lighting, while purple tones add spatial depth. Separating the two colors balances usability with visual character. The LEDs are mounted directly into the frame to minimize vibration and loose wiring. In a compact camper, lighting defines the overall experience. At this stage, the door is custom-built with a focus on water resistance and thermal insulation. Inside the door, insulation foam is placed between wooden panels to reduce heat loss. Rubber seals are installed around the frame to prevent water intrusion during rain or travel. This layered structure keeps the door strong while maintaining a reasonable weight. It's a practical, build-friendly solution with long-term benefits. For an off-grid camper, the door is always one of the most critical components. At this stage, rigid foam insulation is installed around the entire camper shell. This material holds its shape well and resists vibration and temperature changes. The roof is treated with spray foam to seal hard-to-reach gaps. This approach eliminates thermal bridging and reduces moisture buildup. Combining both methods significantly improves insulation performance. It's a critical foundation for a four-season camper build. After finishing the insulation, he moves on to sealing the roof surface. The plywood panels are coated with multiple layers of moisture-resistant paint before installation. The black exterior finish adds weather durability and reinforces the cyber aesthetic. Pre-painting protects the wood core even in areas that won't be accessible later. Once installed, the panels form a rigid, stable roof layer. This step is essential before applying the final exterior cladding. At this stage, he begins cladding the exterior with dye-bond aluminum panels. This material is lightweight, rigid, and more stable than standard aluminum sheets. The brushed stainless finish gives the camper sharp, Cybertruck-inspired lines. Dye-bond expands less with heat, reducing the risk of warping on long drives. Using large panels minimizes seams and potential water intrusion points. This outer skin balances both aesthetics and structural protection. At this stage, the dye-bond aluminum panels are bonded using 3M VHB tape. This adhesive provides extremely strong holding power while allowing thermal movement. By avoiding screws, the exterior maintains clean, seamless lines inspired by the Cybertruck. It also eliminates water intrusion points caused by drilling. When applied correctly, the bond can last for years. It's a solution that balances durability with modern design. At this stage, he tackles one of the most complex parts, the rear hatch. The wooden frame is carefully measured and precisely cut. Instead of bending the wood, the curved section is formed using a V-shaped frame. This allows the surface to bevel downward and create a sharp right angle. The design mimics the geometric lines of the Cybertruck. A hurricane hinge is used to provide strength and reliable water sealing. The wooden frame is coated with red guard for moisture protection. This material forms a flexible, rubberized membrane that seals the wood. It's especially effective at joints and complex cut angles. He begins wiring the electrical system for the rear of the camper. An LED light strip is installed to improve visibility at night. Finally, he attached the die-bond aluminum panel with a stainless steel finish to the rear of the car. This was the final piece to complete the exterior structure. The panel was precisely aligned to seamlessly integrate with the side panels. When finished, the Cyber shape became clear and decisive. At this point, the exterior shell was ready for the real journey. With the exterior complete, he moves on to the water system. The setup is intentionally simple, using a 5-gallon water tank. A USB rechargeable faucet provides flow without a pressurized system.
He revisits the major load-bearing corners. Additional screws are added to ensure safety during long-distance travel.
After reinforcing the structure, he seals every remaining gap. A final coat of paint adds another layer of protection. This step is critical for long-term resistance to rain and road debris. Waterproof sealant is carefully applied along joints, panel edges, and transitions.
At this finishing stage, he installs a rear bumper on the camper. It's not just for looks, it protects the rear during reversing. The bumper adds rigidity to the rear frame. Its squared-off shape reinforces a more aggressive appearance. It also ties in cleanly with the Cyber-inspired design. This is a final touch that blends function and style. In the final stage, he finishes the rear hatch lighting for the kitchen area. The door hinges are fully installed to ensure smooth, secure operation. The solar panel is mounted on the front of the camper. This position maximizes sun exposure when parked and avoids shading while driving. The panel feeds directly into a portable power station inside. A 100-watt setup is sufficient for lighting and essential electronics. There's no complex system. Everything stays simple and manageable. This completes the camper's off-grid energy setup. Cooking tools and gear are set up, ready for use. Inside, a sleeping mattress measuring up to 6 feet 4 inches is put in place. At this point, the camper is not just built, it's ready to be lived in. After more than 2 months of work, the camper is finally ready for its first journey. What started as a basic trailer is now a fully functional off-grid space. Every detail was built for real-world use, not just for display. If you have questions or a different take on this build, leave a comment below. Give the video a like if you found the project worthwhile, and subscribe to follow future builds and journeys. Thank you for watching.